What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at Shardpunk, which actually had a name change since the last time we checked it out. Pretty rare that a game changes its name after its 1.0 release, but this one did. It used to be Shardpunk Vermintide. Now it's just called Shardpunk, and this game seeks to answer a single question. What if Vermintide was a turn-based strategy game a la XCOM? And in fact, I think it turns out these aspirations pretty well. I played the game for 4 or 5 hours last night, and I found that this is a really satisfying, kind of edge-of-a-razor, difficult XCOM clone that does a really good job with its universe building and also with kind of its pixel art. There's a lot of things to like here if you're a fan of the XCOM nebulous, so we're going to dive on in today for about 25 or 30 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or pass on if after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself. I got a link for you down below in the description. The game is well on past its 1.0. The developer has been supporting the game with multiple free DLCs and also a ton of major chunky updates, fixing or adding to areas of the game that he thought was weak in 1.0, and so I thought that this deserved a recover because that's pretty rare. Like, developers are well within their rights once they hit a 1.0 to release some hot fixes to like patch up the last couple major bugs and then walk away to their new project. This developer didn't do that. He's added new characters, he's changed mechanics around, he's added new mechanics, and that's laudable. So we're going to do an episode here today. Let's dive on in. You can also find a link down there next to the link to the game that will go to my Twitch stream on my Discord. I make a lot more content over on Twitch every single day that you can peruse at your leisure in VOD format. But let's go ahead and continue. I've got a run right now. It's about 4 hours into the game. The run that I started to check the game out and see if it was something I wanted to cover again, that run is still going after 4 or 5 hours. And so here we are. We are inside the second chapter. One of the major portions of the game is just like in FTL or just like in Slay the Spire. You're going to have different nodes that you choose to go to. The only difference here is it's going to change what kind of XCOM map you play on and what kind of resources you're going to get as a bonus when you inevitably complete that mission or fall and die. Now, this game does incorporate roguelite elements. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for right now, we're going to go to Brasswallow Street, I think. Every single location is going to have traits. It's going to have mods on the overall battle that are going to kind of like either mess with you, harm you, help you, make things easier, make things harder. You never quite know what you're going to get. Those things can span the range of modifiers, like the enemies have +2 HP. Enemies can move a little bit further. They might be immune to poison. It can also help you out by increasing the amount of loot and things you might find while you're in these areas, because this is a scavenging game. There's actually survival elements to this as well. Let's go ahead and dive on in. This is my 4-man team right now. We'll talk about the objective and what it is we're trying to do inside this title a little bit later. I find that these two characters tend to throw a lot more grenades. She has a teleport device that allows her to teleport around, so she's really useful for breaking overwatches with grenades. So I'm going to give that to her. As far as heals go, we want her to have that too. Honestly, I lean really heavily on Leia Walker, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Let's see how bad this mission is. I think this is my 10th or my 11th mission in this chain for this little pack of XCOM soldiers fighting against the never-ending hordes of Skaven. So we'll see how it goes. I was really impressed. I just completed the first chapter. I was really impressed with the first chapter finale. I'm not going to spoil, but in this game, typically, the goal of the game is to get from the left side of the map to the right side of the map. That's the entire point, is that you're trying to go from your spawn zone all the way to a bunker door that's going to be like right there. And then we have to hang out by the bunker door for like 3 to 5 turns, depending on how you've spent your skill points. And then we evac, and then we go to the next level, and that's the whole thing. Now, if you see green squares around, that means that there's loot there. If you see blue squares, that means that your robot has to interact with them, because the entire point of the game is that you're trying to keep this robot alive. I think it's got some kind of like R2-D2 data on it, like help me Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're members of the military of the Imperium. That's right, this game is obviously made by somebody that's a huge fan of the Warhammer intellectual property, but we're part of an Imperial Empire that's been attacked from below, basically outdoor style by the Skaven. But we're kind of like these weird, I don't even know to call it steampunk, in all honesty, because it's not really steampunk. It's almost like crystal punk. Like, everything in the society functions off these crystals that generate electricity. That's pretty much it. Like, and I guess that's why the rats want to attack us. I'm not really too sure. This game does function based on a 2 AP system, just like new XCOM. If you've ever played Enemy Within or Enemy Unknown, you'll be good to go there. And we got food supplies over here. Let's get it, dude. Yeah, give me all the food in the world. Now, this game, in order to avoid players doing things like taking 2 steps and overwatching, the longer you're on the map in this game, the worse things are going to get. So you kind of want to move quickly. It's smart to move quickly. You don't really have to, like, beeline your way through the map. Like, I don't think I've ever had to cannonball a map unless there was, like, an objective that said, like, the bomb is going to go off in 10 turns or whatever else. But it behooves you to still keep, like, a nice forward clip. Like, don't dither too long. You can occasionally take a turn or two to kind of, like, look around a location if you want to and pick up some extra loot. But you're probably going to want to move quickly and, like, stay away from the old orange moves as well. You'll get yourself into trouble. Now that we've talked about the objective of the game and what it is that we're trying to do, who are these characters? Why should you care? Well, these are... So I got to do a head count right now. I'm not being bad at commentary. I'm trying to count how many characters there are. There are 13 characters, I think. Right now we have 5 of them in our party. There are 3 different robots, and I think there's 12 different human beings or 11 different human beings. They all have different abilities. They all have different passives. They all have different perks. They all have different things that they do. Customization is not limited, but it's not crazy in depth either. So your average character in this game is going to have like 1 or 2 camping abilities. That's right, this game incorporates camping, just like Darkest Dungeon. After every single one of these missions, you get to basically pitch a tent and like hang out and run a bunch of... Oh, we found him. That's what I get for a yellow move. That's what I get for a yellow... I wonder if they could shoot through the fence right there. This may not end well for me. I don't know exactly how I want to do this, but let's get him into cover. It looks like we can indeed shoot through fences. This is kind of like a bad place to get caught up, though. This is not a great place to engage. I'm not, like, truly happy with where we've been met up with. But the characters that we have. Over here, we've got Hector Turner, our resident melee specialist. Has a sword, is really good at yellow moving and stabbing people in the face. Can basically execute a melee attack after double moving. That's their special ability. On top of that, they also get an AoE with their sword that hits everything in a circle around them. And then from there, they are an Imperial propagandist. So they're really, really good at convincing people to, like, keep their heads up and keep going, basically. I'm going to put you right there. We're going to Overwatch, I suppose. I need this robot to be up with Mycroft, though, is my main issue for right now. Mycroft and this robot right here, this is a support robot. It's got an AoE gas that it releases that gives us... Oh, they're going up. Okay, that's fine. That actually works out a little bit better. I'm weirdly happier with that than I am. That actually gives me like a turn or two to collect my forces and figure out what I want to do here. What'll be interesting is if they go for the flank right there. I don't know if they will. I kind of need to reposition. But I'm worried that if I reposition right here, this little guy's going to sweep back in. So I think there's going to have to be a few confirmed overwatches, though, to keep an eye on things in order to make stuff function. If I'm not explaining things very well, don't worry about it. If you've ever played XCOM Enemy Unknown, you will know exactly what is going on with this game, all right? She's got a special ability that's magic. It does 4 damage to that guy. So we might as well use it from here. And then we're going to put in an overwatch just in case he tries to move. We're going to go right here. We're going to install an Overwatch just in case he tries to move. Brobot, I'm going to need you to come like over here so that next turn I can get you into a spot where he can light off his AoE that gives us plus 30 to aim. As with any of the XCOM 1, XCOM 2 titles, if your enemy is in full cover in this game, they get a fat malus to your chance to hit them. And so it's really, really hard to hit guys that are in full cover. That plus 30 that this guy gives me with his gas basically negates half of the full cover bonus that you would get, so that it's as though you're in half cover, which means it's still kind of worth it if you've got a character that can spam shots to fire a whole bunch of times at him. Now let's go ahead and move this character up to here as well. That leaves only her in the firing line. First enemies are around the corner. Reaction attack hit. He's now down. Good stuff. These bombers right here, we got to watch out for them. They're a problem. The bombers got to go. There's our Overwatch and a kill. That's why I left the Overwatch right there. How is the AI in this game? I think is probably going to be the big question that a lot of people are going to ask. For a project made by one guy, pretty good. The AI in this game is pretty ruthlessly aggressive. There are little tricks that the game use in order to soak your shot, so you'll notice as we play through the game, every single pack of enemies will have melee guys in it that move 2 tiles faster than everybody else. There's a reason for that. They're eating up all your Overwatches. Once again, the developer of this game seems to really dislike the gameplay style from a title like XCOM Enemy Unknown, where the meta du jour of that game was kind of like you would take 2 steps in Overwatch, take 2 steps in Overwatch, and that's how people would play on like impossible difficulty. A lot of things here are designed to sort of counter that gameplay. So you're going to find that the enemy has lots of rushers with melee weapons that explicitly exist to soak your shots until all of their shooters can get into cover. That's also to cover up for the fact that this game, you may have noticed, has no scramble turn. So when you stumble onto enemies, they do not get to scramble into cover for free, which is honestly one of my favorite features about this game. The scramble turn, very controversial. A lot of people may not be old enough to remember, but the scramble turn was very controversial when it first happened. It was one of those things where people were really having trouble wrapping their head around why the enemy gets a free move just because I discovered them. And honestly, I'd be lying if I said to you that I didn't partially agree with it. I never really liked the scramble turn. I kind of felt like the enemies should be patrolling around. If they patrol onto me, well, fair game. That's my fault for not setting up a good Overwatch. And if I stumble onto them, exact same thing goes. This game doesn't have a scramble turn, but the enemy compositions and the way that they play definitely acknowledges that they are aware of the fact that they don't have a scramble turn, if you get what I'm saying. And so they play as though they don't have it, which is pretty aggressive. They take cover. They try to optimize and go to places that only have... There we go. Stop that off. Stop that off. Don't let him get here. Woo! Okay. Second bomber I don't think has the movement to get here, so I think we're okay. Oh, he does have the movement to get here. Well, he just flushed us then. That's not great. That guy needs to go as well. That guy right there, he lights off an AoE. It will put poison on everybody in this group of combatants. It will be a big problem. So what I need to do now is we need to think about how we're going to get rid of that. Oh, never mind. He's dead. He has no chance. He's toast. She can white move and stab him. There we go. White move, stab. I thought she had to orange move to stab him, which meant that if she didn't get a maximum damage roll, he was going to survive with 1 HP. We got to pull him back ever so slightly. And then it's going to be time for our chain gunner to wipe this guy out. In this game, you only have 2 shots before you have to reload because, like I said, the entire economy in this game is based on everybody having crystals that overheat in order to do, like, crazy plasma weaponry attacks. And so the AI has the same limitation, if that upsets you. They can only fire 2 shots before they have to reload as well. You can get some metagame upgrades with some of the roguelite mechanics of the game that will allow you to increase the capacitor charges of your crystal-based weaponry if you would like to do so. I'm not quite there yet. I'll show you the unlocks after we get through this level. Fair chance that this may end up being a longer mission, but for now it's just a bunch of movement turns. Well, unfortunately, the enemy has early spawns here. So as with Vermintide, this game is not meant to have a finite number of enemies on the map. This game actually has a lot of enemies that will spawn every 2 to 3 turns while you're running around. That's a Ratman Assassin right there. That's not great. He's kind of like a liability. So what we need to do is we need to pull all of our units into cover real fast. She's caught out of cover. The good news is the Ratman Assassin cannot shoot. So he's got to close the gap and get us with melee. We want to get the robot to that thing right there because that upgrades our robot. Your characters in this game have RPG mechanics. They level up just like in every other game by killing monsters and getting XP. However, your robot cannot level up in that same way. And so your robot has to interact with these little spots right here in order to get stronger. I'll probably have him flonk around this way maybe so that we have both doorways covered. He's going to have to move quite a bit before he closes with us. He does have a special ability that allows him to dodge like the first X number of attacks that are fired at him. So keep that in mind as well. These guys are now closing with us, so we're going to be pincered very shortly, and we're going to need to deal with that pretty aggressively. We're getting to the point in the game right now where the fights take a little bit longer. Things get a little bit crazier. Can I melee fight this guy? I don't know if I can melee fight this guy. Go ahead and shoot at him. Okay. Go ahead and life drain him, I guess, since that's like guaranteed damage. I just need somebody to chip him a little bit. Just tap it in, you know? And then from there, I can melee him right here and get him. This right here is another character. If you use a stim pack on them, they will join your party. Unfortunately, we're at max capacity right now, so we pretty much just need to interact with this guy for the sole purpose of selfishness. The only reason that we want to interact with this guy right now is because if they die inside of our sight line, we all get a bunch of dread. So in this game, just like XCOM, you have stress that you have to keep track of, and stress determines whether or not you're, well, I guess just like Darkest Dungeon, stress determines whether or not your characters get negative perks, and whether or not they become like a liability to the party through their own neuroses. But they do give you a lot of ways of mitigating and managing that. Wow, that's a hell of a pack. For a bunch of spawns, that's a lot of them. Okay. Leah, we're going to need you to blink back down here. Because this right here is our kill box. There's her teleporter right there, which is the special ability that makes her crazy useful. We'll go ahead and use a free weapon vent, which is another customization. Each of these guys has a firearm. You can customize their firearm in between missions with different things. We just need to make it to the bunker door, though. That's pretty much it. Hector, down this way. I may have Hector heal over here to avoid the stress loss in just a minute. But we need to get you inside the upgrader. There we go. Power station is now upgrading our robot for 2 turns. This should give us more than enough time to deal with these infiltrators right here. He's overheated, eh? Okay. Use your free vent weapon. Sorry, I'm still sick right now. I'm on like day 2 or day 3 of like a weird sinus flu. And so, like, I'm trying to hang in there, but, like, dude, I got, like, the muscle soreness, man. I got, like, the weakness. I got, like, the everything where I'm just like, yeah. It's not the Ronies, because I tested myself for the Ronies. So the government gives out, like, these test kits. You get, like, X amount of them per year. Hey, we got one of the bombers. That's good. You get X amount of them per year. And so I already tested myself. It's not the Ronies. But still not feeling super great. I was around my booger monster nephews and nieces for Thanksgiving, and they were all hacking up a little tiny baby lung. And so I knew to myself that I was going to get ill. I was like, there's no way that I'm walking away from this one unscathed. He's got a special ability called Weapon Boost. He's also got an AoE that he lights off. These are all abilities down here that give me extra movement or like a free AP. So this game is pretty random, but it does supply you with a lot of tools for mitigating randomness by giving you free APs and things like that. It definitely gives you a lot of go-agains that other XCOM likes do not give you. And I think that's a good thing, actually. It makes the game have a little bit more of a deterministic bent to it that I think works out. Drop him real quick. All right, we'll put everybody else on Overwatch. He's trying to line up a flank right there. Let's go ahead and move over to here, and we will revive that character. There we go. We actually get to play her for the rest of the mission, though, which is really nice. So we'll set her up on the wall right here. It looks like she's got a chainsaw attack. So she's got a big, giant, two-handed sort of smart gun with a chainsaw on it. That's pretty cool. All right, let's see what the enemy does here. There's the kill. Very nice. He returns fire and misses. Returns fire and misses. Fires and misses. Okay. Upgrade is done. So we're ready to go right there. This guy's only in half cover. I think we can do something about that. Go ahead and actually, this may actually be a little bit sticky. 40% shot is not great. I would rather not. 50% shot's a little better, but still doesn't fix my issue. We need to be kind of like forward moving right now. The gate is right across the plaza if we can get there, so nothing inside those loot spots. Your robot can loot, by the way, if you want your robot to loot. So what I need to do is I need to pull you down to right here. I need to get the robot, Put the robot right there. Robot's going to go into support mode to add 30% chance to hit. We're going to take Malcolm Reynolds over here. We're going to use his tactical command ability to give an extra AP to the characters that are standing inside the AoE radius. That'll allow this guy to take 2 shots. This AoE also makes it so your gun cannot overheat, and look at that, 100% chance to hit. You love to see it. He survived? Okay, all right. Apparently that Skaven was made of sterner stuff than initially surmised. Unfortunately, his brain pan's now laying on the ground, so forget his nonsense. Let's get everybody on the move. We got to get out of the plaza. We've got another robot interaction right here. We're definitely going to want to grab that. This is gun upgrade mods. They will allow you to put modifiers on your firearms, things like scopes, sights, coolant, that kind of thing. You want it. All right, everybody's good. We have no AP left. Who's got an AP left? Hector? It's fine. I don't know if I'm going to search that building right there. It may not be worth it. Oh, we got a few more. I forgot about him. Oh, no. Luckily, he doesn't have an... Oh, we got more spawns. Okay, we got to get around the corner. We got to get around the corner real bad. So with this guy right here, this is real unfortunate, but we need him to die. Actually, pop your free shots. Weapon boost it. All right, he's got 4 free shots now. We want to go... You with the flank. You got to go right now. We want to go explosive barrel right there. We want to go rat bomber in the middle. Other options. This guy right here is a Ratman leader. He's a big problem. They've got like a super high hit rate, and they tend to land their shots, so they're kind of a big issue. Like, we need to deal with that guy. But we also need to go touch this gate over here to get it started, because it takes multiple turns before the gate opens. I think we also kind of have to pray that there's no more Ratmen inside this building right here. I think whatever happens, these two are going to kind of get left behind a little bit. Since I can't even keep this character, I'm also a little bit tempted to have her stay behind and just kind of be the rear guard action. Oh no, my robot! Oh yeah, those guys throw grenades. I forgot about that. What an annoyance. I forgot that they throw nades. They've also got really high evade. I think our best chance right here is just to kind of like disengage and get around this corner on this side, because we're a little bit flanked right now. We could also bring Hector back to kill that guy right there to get rid of the flank. There we go. That's fine. Yeah, I think it's probably best to get back behind this wall right here. Have her double overwatch. Take you out of support mode. Because we're wasting our opportunity right here to put some miles on the board, which is what we need to do. Yeah, you probably get up there. We'll have them come through this door right here. And then you... maybe keep advancing a little bit. You've got the blink, so technically she can get herself out of a bad situation if she needs to. I just need her to go touch the door. That's pretty much it. And then we can just work our way over there slowly. It's going to take us another 3 or 4 turns to get there, but I'll just slow move her and overwatch for right now, just in case. I got a bad feeling they're going to spawn on me out of that corner. Not the worst or the best hit that I've ever seen. Definitely going to need you over here. Kill that guy off. Ratman's down. Keep on moving. Let's get out of here. For you... there is a flank right there. Flanking in this game is not based on perpendicularity like it is in new XCOM. In this game, it's based... I actually may have gotten myself into trouble here. From right there, he can hit, but I don't know if it's a good idea. it's going to leave him out of cover with no rescue. Let's assume momentarily that I put you right there. That I put you right there. You can't get a smoke bomb off from there. All right. Unfortunate. I guess he can get a grenade out that way. Go ahead and give that a go. Grenade didn't do it, unfortunately. Bad luck. Real bad luck right there. Somebody's probably going down on this turn. All right, we got to run and reinforce. Somebody's going down on this one. There's not really too much I can do about it. I can technically blink her back over to here, at which spot she might be able to respond to one of these threats. Maybe. But even so, she's only got a 50% chance to hit. Technically, I could life drain him. That works. Let's do that. That fixes the problem. So life drain it is. All right, so all of our issues are fixed now. I need my robot to come open the upgrade chest. My robot only has 1 HP, though, and if he dies, the game is over, and I'm like 4 or 5 hours in, so I would really prefer not to lose a guy right now. We need to make some serious headway in one direction. We finally got to the end of the enemies. As predicted, there were enemies inside the warehouse over there. Double moving gets me into trouble again. Unfortunately, because this game is so balls to the wall, you kind of have to double move. You don't really have a choice in the matter. You're going to be double moving whether you like it or not. So you can get on board with it, or you can get overrun. Oh, wow. He actually landed that from that far away, huh? I am shocked that that landed. Then again, the AI makes all kinds of weird, dubious across the entire map shots in this game. Do I sound salty? I actually feel like it's kind of smarter to bait him over this way. Like, I feel like we got a good thing going with this little patch right here. And, like, if I put him in support mode, like, nobody overheats their guns. Like, we're kind of tripping over ourselves a little bit, but I also sort of feel like Overwatch spam here is the way to go, because they've got to clear that corner with a whole bunch of guys first. Like, they have no option. They have to. Those guys down there we can run from, so it's not that big of a deal. We really can't afford to get stuck in this spot anyways, because we're flanked in one turn. Well, we're flanked in 2 to 3 turns. I think we're okay. Well, that was dubious. How did he make that shot? That was weird. Sometimes the AI pulls off weird, impossible shots like that one right there. The line of sight in this game, as with all XCOM games, is kind of dubious. So somehow he arced a shot that's technically like through a wall from his position. Not sure how he did that. We're going to have to push a little bit. I don't think we have too much of an option there. I'm actually not sure what my play is right now. I think I'm going to sacrifice her, and I think I'm okay with sacrificing her. We'll play extra effort on her to give us another breakthrough AP, because we need it real bad. Unfortunately, she minimal rolled right there on her attack damage. Totally sucks. Totally sucks. I'm going to need you to, like, start max rolling and doing something useful, please. So Big Dog can almost get there. We do have a fusion core. A fusion core is basically a super grenade. It blows the hell out of them, basically. That's what it does. That's its whole function. our downside here is that nobody can really get there. I may have to play a fusion core in order to break this blockade. So this is one of the things that bugs me about the AI in this game. The AI in this game is terminally unaggressive. Like, if it knows it has one of these perpendicular corners right here, and you also have a perpendicular corner, I've seen this happen 2 or 3 times in the last 5 hours. The AI gets stuck on itself, and it just chain double overwatches on that corner forever. And it leaves you in a situation where you've got to figure out a way to push that corner, but they don't make it easy, basically. I'm going to have her move over to here, even though I know it's super risky, because I have a plan, kind of. I have a plan, kind of, sort of. So we're going to restore one of her APs so that she can chuck a grenade in there. And we have to hope that because I've dedicated to upgrading my grenade technology, that it's going to kill all 3 of them. It did indeed kill all 3 of them. Fantastic. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go. Yeah, I need my robot as far away from the conflict as robotinly possible. Everybody else, chuck out, man. Everybody's got to be in full tilt right now. If you ain't running, you're dying. Let's go. All right, so we're on the door. 3 turns and we're out of here. If we have a fusion core, we can open it instantly, but I've already got perks that are making it so it takes 3 turns instead of 5 turns to open the door. So I think we should be good unless they spawn another pack, like, right on top of us. I think we should be okay. Let's get the robot into cover, keep him nice and protected, and then we got 3 turns to go. All right, so we're ready to get on through the door, and you may be asking yourself, Splat, why are your guys all wounded now, and why is there someone laying on the ground? Unfortunately, key commands in this game are not uniform, so Overwatch is not on the 2 key for every single character. So I was pressing 2 space, 2 space, 2 space, 2 space to put everybody on Overwatch and pass a turn, but one of my characters had the unfortunate luck of not having Overwatch on their 2 key. It was fire their gun. They shot a barrel that blew up and killed like half my party just because I was absent-mindedly with some, I'm sick right now, so my brain isn't firing very well. I absent-mindedly shot a barrel that was in the middle of the party and blew them up. Luckily, I'm so far ahead of the curve right now in terms of resources that I was able to heal everybody and get back up on the horse, so it was like a minor setback. But if this was one of those runs where I was on thin ice already and barely making it, that probably would have been a wipe. Luckily, I have lots and lots of resources, and I haven't really been doing too poorly. So I think we're just going to be able to get on through the door and move on with our level. Get everybody in the shelter so that I can show you the management gameplay. Leia, can you get out of here too? All right, good. Leia can get out of here too. Cool. Out, and away we go. That's our mission completed. It would have basically been a flawless mission except for the grenade had not one of my characters shot a barrel because Overwatch was not on the 2 key. Attack was on the 2 key for some weird reason for that character. And I was just brainlessly 2 spacing, 2 spacing, 2 spacing. Let's go. This is the level ups right here. So when your characters get enough XP for completing missions or stepping inside of upgraders, they level up. These are all of their abilities. The abilities, most of the things I've seen are not anything too far outside the realm of what you would expect from an XCOM game. There's stuff that allows you to attack after double moving. There's landmines. There's multi-attacks. I would recommend, one of my things with this game is that there's a very obvious meta to this game. You should take anything that increases your AP efficiency, gives you free actions, or restores AP. This game expects you to kind of min-max a little bit, and if you don't, you're going to have a bad time. Every time you beat a level, you get a team skill. These team skills unlock with roguelite progression. Right now, I've got extra damage to my grenades. I've got faster bunker doors. I've got 2 extra free use AP that I can use for anything. I've got 2 extra HP on all characters. I've got a free 2-space move that can be used by any character once per combat. Lots of little things here that help you swing favor in your direction. And then once you've done the mission, you continue. And you're not coming with us, so goodbye, Julius. You're not upgraded or anything. But we do get a free upgrade part for rescuing him, I guess. That's kind of nice. Here's the shelter gameplay. It's just like Darkest Dungeon when you camp. You get AP, and you get to do stuff. We're inside of a medical room right now. So we get to, there's different shelters. We're in a medical shelter right now, which means for 1 AP, we can heal people up to max health, which is actually super helpful considering my unfortunate malfunction during the last mission. We can also search this location for medical supplies. We got 2 medical supplies and a stim pack. Other things you can do inside the shelter is you can give each other pep talks because there is a stress system. You can see it down here. Each of these pips means that you have that times 10% chance to develop a permanent flaw. That's something wrong with your character, like they panic when they get shot at, or they take extra damage from grenades or something like that. You can rest them 3 times for 3 AP, and it will eliminate a negative flaw if you want. You can also build things like healing stim packs in here. You can build grenades. You can enrich the energy cell of your gun. It depends. Sometimes there's like little engineering rooms where you can modify and fix your robot. For now, I do think we need to fix the automaton. He's kind of beat up and inside the realm of dying instantly right now, which is not great. And so he's taken care of. There's also upgrade points. So you can modify your guns to make them better. So like if I wanted this guy to aim and get plus 10%, I could do that right there. And now he's got a red dot sight on his gun. And as an additive bonus, the little gun changes. Every single mod that you put on your gun makes it look like bigger and badder and cooler so that there's a visual sense of progression. And that carries as well, by the way. These are refundable. If you don't like an upgrade, you can take it off, and it will give you all of your upgrade points back so you can freely move them around, which is really nice quality of life. These are unlocks right here. As you do achievements in this game, you're going to get these little bronze crosses. The bronze crosses, they unlock more team skills. They unlock more weapon mods that you can put on your weapons. They unlock more characters. This is about how far I've gotten in 5 hours of playing the game. I've unlocked around half of it. So you'll probably unlock most of it in like 2 decent runs, and then from there it just becomes like an XCOM game where your party picks and their various abilities are the things that matter. I like this game. I think it's a pretty good, for a single-man project, this is a pretty good facsimile of XCOM that has its own identity. It knows what it wants to be. It suffers a little bit, I think, by borrowing a little bit too much from other games where, like, you can see a lot of the mechanics are, like, straight from Darkest Dungeon or straight from XCOM. But at the end of the day, it's executed well with good pixel art. There are the occasional foible that I've run into with map generation and proceduralism, but I think that's unavoidable with a game like this, that you'll occasionally get like a really terrible tile that really doesn't have much counterplay. But by and large, this is a really satisfying roguelitification of the XCOM formula that I think most people that enjoy XCOM will like due to its merciless nature and how it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. This game has had my hands clammy a couple times. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in. This right here is called Shardpunk. I'll catch y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but for now, it's time for me to go. Bye, folks.